Welcome to the Foul Pole to Foul Pole podcast, brought to you by Black Diamond Softball and Fitness, presented by the Till Valhalla Project, where heroes live forever.
Hey, welcome back to the Foul Pole to Foul Pole podcast. This is Tyler with Black Diamond Softball and Fitness, and today my guest is none other than Coach Chenita Edwards. A lot of you guys call her Coach C. She's out there in California coaching a 16U Corona Angels team. She's a hitting instructor. She's a defensive skills instructor. She's a Hall of Famer at Cal State Fullerton. She's a 1986 College World Series champion. She's my friend. She's a mentor, and she's just a great all-around person. Check it out. I appreciate you, Coach, joining me today. I wanted to jump right into it. There's a big news about the Olympics coming back in 2028. How do you feel about that?
Of course. It's softball. So I'm like ecstatic, man. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. Side note, it should have never left anyways.
Right.
But just happy that it's back. Not saying our female athletes or little girls don't dream, but in the sport of softball, now they can dream bigger than they were just going off to college and playing. But they can dream big to play and represent the USA team once more. So I'm excited about it.
Hey, you bring up having somewhere to go after college, and the game is growing nationally. There's no doubt about it. But on an international scale, other countries are starting to pick up the sport. And I know the Olympics are in Paris in 2024, and there's no softball games that are going to be there. And I was doing some research on my own, trying to figure out, okay, why wasn't it put in there? And just in France, it's just not popular. There's only one or two venues that could hold something like that. So I'm going to ask you, how do you feel the game is growing internationally, and how long do you think it'll be before it's in most of the countries that have these other sports like basketball and baseball and football?
Well, I feel since, again, we got to dial the clock all the way back when I played, but I feel it has grown tremendously and gone out to spread out to a lot of countries. Should we be in more countries? Definitely. But, the countries that we're in, I feel like a lot of girls have the opportunity to go to those countries. And when they go, they don't just play. Some become coach players. So I really feel that we are in enough countries, and that we are, social media wise, streaming, ESPN. So people from other countries get to watch us. Especially, when we have the national college championships. So, we have viewers from all different countries watching us. So even though we're not there yet, at least they get a visual of what it's going to take to be a softball player. Right. I was watching, when you go on TikToks and you go on Instagram, you see kids that don't know anything about it trying to learn how to play it. You can go on YouTube and teach yourself, but back to the countries, getting out to other countries, I really feel that it'll continue to spread. And anytime, from back in the day, we went to New Zealand and Japan and China. And then I had roommates go to, Switzerland, all of that. And so when they went and when we went, we did play, but some of them went and they taught. And so that's how you get it into different countries, because some of us do go over there and have the fundamentals and the knowledge to teach the game. Right. And so hopefully that'll continue to happen.
Right. You mentioned your play-in days. So when you were at Cal State Fullerton, I don't know if you thought about the future beyond college ball, but what did the future look like to our college softball players at that time? And I don't want you to date yourself, but back before the game started to grow nationally and internationally.
Well, I'm going to date myself anyways. So I played on the national championship team in 1986 at Cal State Fullerton. And one thing my head coach, Judy Garman, did is she, when I was there, we ran a lot of camps, Titan Tuffy camps. And that's when I first got exposed to teaching kids and helping kids to become better softball players, or just giving them excitement about some sports as a female or a little girl. And it has grown. I remember, I'm going to date myself again. We had, what's called tape delayed interviews. We had tape delayed interviews when we went to play in a College World Series. And so that would come on a couple of weeks later, maybe a month later.
Right.
It was funny, but, watching it now on TV and helping girls fulfill their journey to get to that next level to play, it's really grown tremendously. And it's not just because of how can I say this? It's not just because what's going on today. Of course, the softball players today, we put it in motion. If that's something to say, we put it in motion. We didn't get things that they, social media. Right. There's no social media back in the day. So the college coaches back when, the players back when, just loving the game. I think I'm going sidebar on this, but just loving the game and creating a atmosphere for girls to come in and learn the game, from camps, clinics, to, the showcases. It's really a joy to see how it's grown. And I'm just here for a couple more years, maybe, or so, to keep it moving. So I don't know if I answered your question, but I just I just like to talk and just keep baffling along the journey. So
you see it firsthand right now how far just the game of recruiting has gone from when you were trying to be looked at and trying to get exposed to colleges and make it to the college game. And then now with you coaching, whether it's high school or travel ball, you're trying to be that conduit between what they're doing and where they're trying to get to. When you played, did you think that recruiting was going to get to something like this, to where it was so cutthroat?
No, because when I played, you played and you didn't even really think about, college coach is coming. The college coach is coming. I got to prepare for this weekend. I got to prepare for this showcase. I'm excited about this showcase. Yeah. You just played. And then after the game, somebody might have said, well, Coach so-and-so was in the stands from this school. Oh, yeah? Oh, she liked you. Oh, yeah? I'm just balling. Yeah. So that's the mindset back in the day. You just went out there to ball, and softball was first. The love, playing the game was first. And that's what's gotten out of the game now, is that being on the field and playing the game is not first anymore. Right. Is how can I make sure I don't make a mistake? How can I make sure these coaches come and watch me? What that last at bat, now I got to think about this at bat. Make sure my fundamentals are right. Make sure I perform well. Right. It's not like, I always tell people, it is kind of like you're on stage performing, but it's not like a retake, take one, take two. Right. No, just flow with what you got. Flow with what you got. And I just think back in the day, we just played and we competed. Nowadays is they're doing it, but they have all of this other stuff running through their minds, and it slows the process down. And of course, just like I'm a trainer, I'm a coach, so I teach and I train. And it's a good thing to be a trainer, and it's a bad thing to be a trainer. And I say that because yes, they need the help, but then it's a lot of information. Yeah. And when you give a lot of information for the kids nowadays, it's more or less it stays up here like in a classroom, and it just doesn't flow.
Right.
And I wish that, and I'm, I'll take a little bit of it too. Yeah, I teach. I love teaching. Do I overtrain sometimes? A lot, maybe so. And so that gets them to become like robotic, and we got to just get away from that. And I try my best. I pray on it. Right. And then still the training comes out of me and the teaching comes out of me. So it's hard now on the big stage because of so many showcases, the 6-week window, seeing people on social media, get your friends getting committed, verbal, and why am I not, and all of that. And so that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here too, is because, your school is going to be your school.
Right.
I've had people commit early. I've had people commit right before that year of college starts. Yeah. So just trust, as we always say, in the Corona Angels organization and many other organizations, trust the process. You trust the process. You have coaches and you have people along your journey to help you. It's going to work out. Might not be D1. There's all kind of colleges out there for you, but trust the process and it'll work out for you.
You wear a few different hats as it comes to being able to have an influence on our young females, whether it's high school coach, trainer, travel ball coach. What's the biggest difference in coaching when we're talking about coaching a high school team versus coaching a travel ball team when it comes to recruiting?
When it comes to recruiting, well, I have a son that's a basketball player, and so college coaches do come to basketball games, and they do the AUU stuff. But all these years that I've coached softball, high school, travel ball, high school is just not a place that you're gonna see a lot of college coaches at. And your first initial target is travel ball. Now, you'll see a college coach come, for example, they see you, let's just say Cal State Fullerton, for example. I'm not putting them on, but they'll go see one of my players, for example, play travel ball. And then because they're so close to a high school that I might coach, they come out and watch a high school game. But the initial contact and seeing them is always going to be travel ball. So high school, you're gonna get college coaches out there, but that's more of a conveniency thing. Kind of, I'm over here, I'm in that area where my university or college is. Right. So I'm able to go to those high schools surrounding me to go and recruit. And then they might go to the CIF playoffs and stuff like that. Right. Where in travel ball, it's a stage there. You got your fall showcases, you got your summertime, and that's when you need to shine. And of course, off going to the other contact or connection is you go into the camps. Right. And you go into the college camps. And I know I'm going off script a little bit, but when we talk about recruiting, it's very important. Back in the day, I could pick up a phone and say, hey, coach, I got this girl. She's fast. She's quick. She can cover ground. She has some power, but she can drop a bunt. She runs a 2, whatever. All right, coach, I got you. And they'll just start recruiting them just like that. Nowadays, you can't do it so much anymore. Right. Yes, people still respect me, but they have so much. It's like a candy store. They have so much to choose from. Yeah. So when you have a lot to choose from, you have to make sure, yes, I'm going to call somebody or text somebody on one of my players, but also now that is just a courtesy where they're going to come out, hey, Chenita, I've known you for a long time, so I'm going to come to your game. I'll watch your player. Now that player has to perform though. As my mom said back in the day, you can bring a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. Exactly. The player has to perform. And it has to be consistency. No one said you had to go 4 for 4, but it has to be consistency of a college coach coming out and taking their time, because you got to remember that college coach can be at another location or another field watching someone else. Right. So recruiting it's a big thing now, and I try to get all girls, and I say this, and I want to say this, I try to get all girls. I am a Corona Angel, and my team is a 16 and under team. And that team, I will help my players as much as I can, but I will help my other 16 and under teams in the Corona Angels, 18s, and I will help players outside of the organization if they need help. That's who I am. If I see a player on another field, I'll call one of my coaches and say, hey, I saw a picture on so-and-so's team, a travel club team. You probably need to kind of go and look at her Instagram or whatever. That's who I am. It's not about just my team. It's about student athletes and getting them to the next level, no matter what level that is.
Yeah. There's so much now. I like to call it keeping up with the Joneses, when you see posts on Twitter and posts on Instagram and stuff like that. And I just let it go. But there's a lot of times where you'll see these athletes that they'll post these pieces of mail that they get from colleges and stuff like that. And I'm glad they got that mail. But it's not that letter that I don't know. Somebody, I guess, has told them, hey, you get this mail letter, make sure you post it. It looks good. It does that and this. But even if I wanted to get that same piece of mail, I could fill out the questionnaire and they would send me the information. So talk a little bit about using social media the right way, and in your experience with the connections that you have with the colleges and the coaches, what do you know fares better than other things that is going on social media when it comes to the recruiting element?
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to say a no to what you said in the beginning. Absolute no, we don't post unless you're committing to that school. So that type of stuff, I say no to. Some other coach might say, hey, it'll grab the attention of other coaches that really want you and maybe speed up the process.
Right.
But I say no. Here's a few of my suggestions. It's not it's set in stone, but through the years, these are my suggestions. I do like connection. I do like social media. Mm-hmm. I really do. And you'll see a lot of coaches on Twitter. I'm an Instagram person, but I see a lot of coaches connect with players on Twitter. I see the players post their home runs, their base hits, their strikeouts. And I really feel like there's more than just posting those things. I tell my players, so if you're a small, petite person, well, how do they know you're strong? The eye candy says you don't look strong. Right. You might be fast, but how do they know you're strong? Well, I try to tell kids, well, you do speed and agility. You work out in the weight room. Show some of that. So show what a day is about. Show that you what you lift, what you can lift. Show maybe you went running a mile. Show it the stopwatch of how fast you ran. If you want to post something, post your grades. Post I just got my quarterly grades. Post that. Post something outside. Post, hey, I know this is softball, but I wanted to show you some of my other extracurricular activities. I like to draw. Here's a picture of. These are things, and this is just me. It might sound cheesy to some people, but some coaches want to get to know you before they know you.
Right.
And then again, yes, the base hits and the strikeouts are very important to do. And then tagging college coaches, I don't know about all the tags that they have 30 coaches at, whoever so-and-so head coach. I don't know about all the tagging. I wouldn't go overboard with the tagging, but if there's coaches that you went to a camp, and I would tag them so they can kind of see your journey.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you can always start young. Not that they can get back to you. And again, I'm going to go basketball because my son plays basketball. He started young. So again, if you post in the 8th grade, 9th grade, and then come around in the 10th grade and you got bigger, stronger, faster, don't you think a coach want to see your journey? Yes, they do. So there's a lot of things that you can do with social media, but you also can do by emailing and texting. Now, we have to know the rules too. We have to know when a college coach can contact you. So we have to know all those rules. And I think a lot of parents don't know the rules and the guidelines. So that's one thing that I would suggest for a family is to just learn the recruiting process, the quiet periods, all of the things that they need to know about the recruiting process. Learn timelines as a sophomore, junior, senior.
Right.
And then one thing that I did want to touch on, I was talking to a college coach. She said some great things. I love talking to college coaches. A lot of them are good. I have some I call them best friend softball coaches. I have a lot of those, a couple of those, I should say, that I just go to. They're my go-to people for drills. They're my go-to people for questions that I don't know about the recruiting process.
Mm-hmm.
And they're good just to just kind of bounce things off of. But I have a coach that is recruiting a couple of my players. But they went to the camp, did great. But there's other players from other teams that did great.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's going to separate them? So I talked to her about it. And it's Chenita, it's the intangibles. It's the intangibles,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you can hit with power and somebody else can hit with power. You can be fast and someone else can be fast.
Yeah.
Okay, but what else do you bring? Do you have the instinct? Right? Do you have the instinct? Do you see a ball down? Can you go from first to third in a game and read the air that's coming? Right? Do you have game IQ? Do you have great game IQ? A lot of girls don't. You see, they're in the gym. They're working hard. They're working, but they don't have the IQ. And so IQ means, do you know 3 things before a ball's pitched? What are you going to do with that ball before a ball's pitched? A lot of kids don't. That's why they freeze. The energy level is an intangible that some people don't have. The performance is not a robotic performance just because a college coach is there. Right. Intangibles are the hustle, it's a lot of different little things. Reading the defense when you're up at bat and you're fast. Can you drop a bunt? Can you power slap over somebody's head? Can you, if you're a righty, a runner's on third, can you hit oppo? Everybody goes, ooh, on a screwball in on a right-handed hitter and she hits it a home run. Well, really? Do you know that's a setup pitch?
Yeah.
Definitely a setup pitch to go low and outside on you. Right. So can you hit a home run oppo? Oh, yeah, we're going to scream on a home run over the fence all the time, but can you hit a home run oppo? So these are the intangibles that a college coach was talking about, and I love it. So that's what I'm going to preach a lot. And then the mental approach, mental preparation. We have, I love her, my sister, Dina Tyson, or I don't know if she's my sister because she's younger. I'll call her my niecey niece. But she does our mental training in our organization, and facts. She's one of the better ones in regards to the mental preparation. Yeah. I'm gonna give her a shout out on Focus Up, but that's what she says, focus up. That's her go-to word. And a lot of kids don't understand that you need to have mental preparation to perform in a game too. So that's what I was talking about in regards to recruiting. I know I was long-winded with it, but that's
it's good. I can sense and I can feel and I can hear your passion in it. And it's not just passion for the game of softball and the athletes that are there. It's for, young athletes. You mentioned your son playing basketball, how different the recruiting is between softball and basketball, and then softball and football, and softball and baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So us, as whether we're trainers or coaches, we have to continue sharpening our skills. And you have that network of college coaches that you lean on with different times and stuff. Do you find it that travel coaches have this fear for whatever reason of trying to reach out to college coaches and to get information or to introduce themselves? They just kind of think they know how it's supposed to be, and they just kind of wing it, and we're setting our kids back by doing that? Or
right,
more coaches are starting to talk to colleges and introduce themselves more?
Well, think about it this way, and I can say it, I'm comfortable because I've been around for a long time. I think I'm well respected in a collegiate level with a lot of the college coaches. But think about it this way: if you're a travel coach, okay, you're not at a car lot trying to sell a car. Right. And I think that's what goes wrong with a lot of the travel ball coaches. They're trying to sell and oversell something that is not at that level. Or at a car, you get a lemon. I had, and it's a joke, and please don't get offended, a lot of people, because I talk to a lot of coaches. So we do joke a lot. And she's like, one way back in the day, she's like, Chenita, you sold me damaged goods. You didn't tell me about all the extra with it. And we just laugh. I didn't get mad at it. We just laughed about it. But with the travel ball coaches, you can't oversell. And it's easy to approach a college coach. Just when you're at a game, you just give them one of your profile sheet. You don't have to talk up too many people. This is, and I've been doing this a long time. So when I approach a college coach, especially one that I don't know, I give them a profile sheet. I might asterisk a couple of the players. I say, but college coach, if you see anything on that form that you like, I'll come back around, or I'll follow up with you by email or text and ask you if you saw any player that you're interested in, and invite them to a camp or a showcase that you might be at, and then we'll go from there. That's not an oversell. No. And also maybe the travel ball coach needs to research their self to schools, because I'm not going to sell a college coach a player to let's just say let's just say, I don't want to say it. Let's just say Cal State Fullerton did again. If they don't have their major, I'll tell the kid to go research them. But if they're not looking, a college coach is not looking for this girl, they want speed, and you're still trying to sell them your big power hitter or this big girl that just started travel ball, that's a turnoff to a college coach. So I just said, just don't oversell your athletes. Have profile sheets, research. Don't try to text and blow up a college coach's phone number if you get their cell number. Emails are good, but you got to remember with emails, they get thousands of emails. Yeah. So maybe you do find somebody that you're good with in a travel ball world. Like, I might have a travel ball coach, and say, hey, coach, I'm trying to get a hold of so-and-so at this school. Can you help me out with them? Mm-hmm. I said, okay, who's your player? I might watch them, or they might send me some video footage of them. Okay, I'll reach out to them. But you shouldn't be afraid to approach a college coach because they're only human. They just got a logo on their chest. That's what I tell people. They just got a logo on their chest. And, you know, they're just head coaches or assistant coaches that got the job. You may know just as much information as them. They're just at a level, a higher level to get your girl where they need to be. Yeah. And so you want to learn how to approach, how to help your girl get recruited. But I say, do not fear college coaches. Just learn how to approach and learn how to sell or not sell. Help your girl, because I never say we do it alone.
Right.
I don't stick out my chest. Help your girl get to your student athlete get to the next level.
Yeah. One thing, if you've never talked to this college coach before, the one thing that I guarantee you will take you and your player off of their list is to tell them you've got a perfect fit for them. You don't know that coach. You don't know what they got going on. If you tell them I've got the perfect girl for you, they're going to write you off before they ever listen to you, because A, you're undermining them, and B, they don't know who you are. So
exactly. I love it.
That's it. And I've heard from so many different coaches that tell me, what's the one thing a coach can do to get you off or get them off of your list, is to tell me they got somebody that I need or I have to have, or she's a perfect.
Have to have. Yeah. Hey, coach, right here, coach, this girl right here, I know she'll turn your program around. Yeah. No, you don't. No, you don't. That's why, it's fun. I mean, I love my college coaches because I can have real conversations with them and they'll tell me the truth. And back in the day, it's funny because, again, I'm going to date myself. My girl, Sue Inquist, she UCLA, great coach, awesome coach, top coach. But I used to see her out there and I'm like, hey, coach, tell me a story, and she would just tell me recruiting stories and just have me just laughing because they are human and they do want you to come up, and it's about them too in regards to it's not all about trying to sell a girl. It's how was your day? But she would just tell me just a story just to kick off the conversation, because I would love to hear some crazy. Everybody, all of us coaches, including you, we all can tell a story of something funny about an athlete. Yeah. But then again, my athletes can turn around and imitate me to the fullest, and I have fun with it. So, I mean, it's funny, but like you said, I got a girl for you, coach. I got a girl. I know it's gonna turn your program around. No, stop right now.
You got it for me. You got it for somebody else. Well, you are a part of the National College Resources Foundation, and I wanted to make sure we fit this in before we got out of here, because it's more than softball for you. There's more to you than just softball, and just the little bit that we've been talking here in the past few weeks about getting you on the podcast. I could just tell there was something about you, and I wanted to make sure we were able to talk about this. And so, tell me a little bit about it, and tell me the impact that it's had.
So, the National College Resource Foundation was founded by Dr. Teresa Price. I'm not. I say this genuinely when I talk about it. It's a big part of me now, and it's the best job in the world. And people say, "Well, you love softball." Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. But if you just saw the journey with the group of people led by Dr. Price, Teresa Price, you would know that it is the best job in the world. National College Resources Foundation. It is for underprivileged or student athletes, and not student athletes. I shouldn't say that. I'm a part of student athletes, but students that would love to go to college, whether it's D1, NAIA, HBCU, historically Black college universities, or and that's what we are there for. And most people that come to the event, sometimes it's first generation students, but Dr. Price, she's been doing this forever. I can't count the years because honestly, I don't know. She says it all the time, but she's been doing it for a long time, helping thousands of kids get to the college level. And just know that she does it with a purpose, and she's a God-fearing woman, and know that she's blessed and is on this earth for that. We are a foundation that we travel to numerous of cities, far east as New York, Texas. We go to Texas in the South, Georgia. If you go to our website, Black College Expo, you can get more information about it. I am the sports manager of the Student Athlete Program, which is short for SAP, and where we engage, empower, and educate student athletes to get to the next level. Engaging is our showcases and combines, track and field invitationals that we work on, and we're trying to do showcases for more than those sports. We've done softball showcases also for the HBCUs, and then Empower is the mental part of the being a student athlete, the college day-to-day of a college athlete. We do 411 seminars, getting them ready, getting them information about the academic side of it, what it takes, the eligibility, NCAA Eligibility Center. So we talk a lot about that. And then I think I said educate, but empowering is like I said, the mental toughness of being a student athlete, because, you can't be a student going off to college, but when you put the athlete with it, it's double stressful. It's double on your mental side. So you're trying to do all of it in at one time. And so I know that I don't take anything away from an academic student, but I know that it's twice as hard in regards to staying afloat, getting up at 5:30 in the morning, going to bed at 1 p.m., doing your homework, traveling for the weekend, coming back and still having an assignment turned in. So that's what we're about in the SAP program. But we have many other avenues, entities of the National College Resources Foundation. We have the STEAM program. We have the movement. I don't want to leave everything out, but we have a lot of other entities. But hopefully we can, I can give more information in regards to that.
I can
but love Dr. Price.
I can put everything linked down below.
Oh, that would be awesome. Awesome. Anyone that is at our really quick at our events, that we will have one in Los Angeles, and it's the big one. 2-day event. If you go there and you're a junior or you're a senior, they give scholarships on the spot. They waive application fees. We waive application. I should say we, but they. There's hundreds of colleges that are there to set up booths, and so it's a lot, and a lot of people don't know about it. And that's the crazy thing. And I'm still learning as I'm a part of it. I'm still learning. It's amazing to see thousands of students come in there and then end up getting scholarships, see the tears, walk away with application fees waived, scholarships, money in hand, all of it. So again, love my group of people, love my SAP team. Would not and God opened doors to put you in position and places that He wants you to be. And this is, I don't say my afterlife of softball, but it is truly a blessing to continue this journey. So thank you for letting me get a plug in on that.
Absolutely. And I will have all this information down below, and it'll be linked. So if anybody wants any more information about that, they can find out different dates and stuff like that, or what they need, what they want. And then they'll also be able to reach out to you. I'll have your information down below as well. So before we get out of here, I want to ask you, I try to ask everybody that I talk to, the popularity of the sport of softball, from where it was when you first started as a little kid to it growing while you were playing, and now you're coaching. Where do you see softball in the next, say, 5 or 10 years professionally, where these girls have somewhere they can stay at home and play in a league like Major League Baseball, but something that is sustainable and they can actually make a career out of it and make money doing it, so they can, support their families?
Well, first of all, let's just say softball in my heart is number one, no matter the numbers. But as you can see, viewing wise, when the College World Series comes on, sometimes it has more views than some of NBA basketball or whatever is on sports at that time.
Yeah.
Would love to see it grow where that a female athlete, a softball athlete, could make and live on playing that professionally. But as we see, and I'm a basketball player before I was a softball player. I tell people that all the time. But my son doesn't believe me, but I do have a jumper. I do. But as we can see in the WNBA, which is just exciting to watch how it started and how it's going now. But think of the years that it has taken them to just get on a platform, somebody backing them, the NBA backing them. They have millions of dollars, NBA, but it's still it's a process. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited for the WNBA and where it is. But it's time. It takes time, and the WNBA athletes that are they're prospering from people that they're standing on their backs, their shoulders. Yeah. And it's going to be the same thing as softball. I cannot tell you where it's going to be in years to come. Do we want it to get to that level? Yes, we do. Is it going to take time? Is it going to take a big backing? Yes, it is. But I enjoy watching Athletes Unlimited. I like how they format it. Yeah. I enjoy watching the College World Series. I think the Olympics will help it, help more viewers, and maybe people that don't know anything about softball open their eyes to, hey, this could be a great profession to go into. I see it continuing to grow, but to answer that question, it's hard to answer that question. But do we all that have been around softball for a long period of time want it to go to that level? Definitely. And hope and pray that it will. But definitely, I think we're moving towards that. But if you just take a page out of the WNBA, it is a long process. As you know, they just added another team to, I think it's in Oakland, added another team to the WNBA. So as you can see, it's taken a long time, but I think we're on what is that? The social media, the networks, softball is. So I know it's growing. I know it's going to continue to grow. It's not going away because the kids love it. The kids love watching it. The kids love the Mary Nutter tournament. The kids love the Clearwater Invitational back in the day. I mean, back on the Florida way. Yeah. So I just know it's going to be around. Yeah. How it grows depends on who trusts and wants to buy into us a lot more.
I think you're right. We'll have to follow the money. We'll have to wait on the money, but it's going to take some time. But like I was talking to Coach Rico, man, and from the Firecrackers, and he said it right. He said, if me and him had the money to do it, that's the first thing we would do is build a sustainable league the best way we know how. And eventually it'll come. There's a lot smarter people out there than I am, but I hope it just continues to grow in the way that it is growing. And it takes, organizations like I'd mentioned, the Firecrackers and, the Corona Angels. So speaking of the Corona Angels, what do you have going on this fall and what are you looking forward to most next summer?
So the Corona Angels, we all are 16s. We have 4 16s and we have some 18s. We have, of course, like all the organizations, we're at different showcases. We got 4 16Us. So we're all different places. I'm not going to get a shout out to any of the showcases because they're all out there. Right. But we are working a 6-week window. And we will be out probably 5 out of the 6 weeks. And then going into summer, shout out again to the showcases, but I won't say any names, but we all try to get to the top showcases, right? And get our girls out there. But shout out to my.
Are you going up to the Mile High State this summer?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But yes, that's my guy though, Dan Burns.
Yeah,
that's my guy. So
how big is that thing going to get, man? That
but I am going to shout out IDT. Yeah. Yes, definitely, it's a place to be. Yeah, definitely a place to be. I can't say it's not. And I like going. I love Colorado. So, that's one place that most people are going to be outside of the National Championship Alliance or PGF.
Yeah. Do you like what Alliance has done over the past few years? How it's like it has. Yes. I mean, trying to almost mirror what it looks like with the NCAA.
Yes, it's growing. And it's growing for the good because
Jamie is something else, man. I see it all the time.
It was a headache in the beginning. PGF, it came from your what is it back in the day when I played or when I had my first teams. But PGF started off a baby. Alliance started off a baby and it's growing every year. Yeah. And there's good things. There's good things good qualities that they have. Can they continue to grow? Oh, yes, they can. But I see it staying around, and I see that the people behind the scenes are doing so much better and making it where it's mirroring tournament-wise. Sometimes at the end, I think it mirrors the College World Series a little bit. But it, like, for example, my team, they got to tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, so people don't just play and go home. Right. People have things to play for now. They got the tier 1, tier 2, and if you're at the level of tier 1, or you just are rolling that weekend, you get to tier 1, you play the high competitive teams. Yeah. We were 1 game away from tier 2 Elite 8. And for my team, a young team, that was great. It's a great feeling going into the next season. So shout out to the Alliance. They are doing good things. We always know that we can do better. So, but they're doing great things there.
I don't think, I don't think the PGF is going anywhere. I think the Alliance has found somewhere where they fit in and they offer something that's the same and different than what the PGF is doing.
Because it's too many teams.
Yeah.
Too many teams to just be at PGF or just be at Alliance. Yeah. And so I like it.
I don't have any problems with it either. I've talked to a lot of the coaches that are on the board, and they're continuing to bring in as many people as they can to continue to develop what their product and what they're offering, and to give as many people an opportunity to grow as individuals within the game. And I think that's what softball needs across the board, because you've got all the other organizations, the tournaments, like whether it's USA or NSA or Top Gun or PGF, USSSA. So there's a lot out there, and it needs to grow as the sport continues to grow, because eventually you're going to get to a point to where there's nowhere for all these teams to go.
Exactly.
All these rankings.
What I do like, what I would like to see A lot of people say like, oh my gosh, nationals are in Indiana.
Mhm.
Oh, Indiana, why would they put it in Indiana? And that's, me too. But I did go there a couple years ago, and I think we're back this year or whatever, our age group. But one thing I do like about Indiana, the complex that it's at, it has so many fields.
Yeah.
And that's probably the only downfall in California is that the college coaches got to travel to 50 different fields.
Yeah.
But there in Indiana, they had, I don't know how many fields there, but it was all within, it was a lot of fields within that one complex. And if we could do that, it would help out college coaches, help out travel for teams. So love the Indiana, what they do. They have turf. Everybody's going to the turf fields. And even the other complex in Indiana, I think it may be maybe about a 25-minute drive apart, but it's only 2 instead of like 5-6 field locations. So I do like that, and I do hope that eventually we could get something done like that.
I went up there this summer up in Indy from here in South Carolina to watch the 12s and the 14s, and the first time I've been to that park, the park that you're talking about, I think it's called Grand Park, I think, and then you have Kokomo. But you're trying to get into that place, and all you can see is fields, and they're all turf, and they are pristine, and they look great. And I was like, man, this is the East Coast mecca of ball.
Yeah, that is nice. It is nice when you say, "Do I want to go to Indy?" Well, I shouldn't say that, but. Do I want to go to Indiana for nationals? But it works out.
Yeah,
it does. Very good.
The airport's really, right there.
It's supposed to be a business trip anyways.
Exactly.
Right? Not a vacation. It's supposed to be a business trip.
It was a vacation for me. I met my buddy Mandy Baldiff. She was going up there, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to. So that's what we did. We went and stood at the ball field, and we just shook hands and talked. And she was watching some of her players that she has, their clients and stuff. And it was just, I was meeting all kinds of people just because I was there. I got to see some teams that I knew, and I'm not kidding. I picked up some stuff, and that's what it's about to me, and just growing the sport. I love it so much. I have 3 daughters, 2 of which play. My youngest daughter, she's into dance and stuff like that. But being able to talk to people like you and help just pass the word. This is why this whole podcast started. Foul Pole to Foul Pole is the thing because of people like you. You and I met through Tony Medina. And so, I mean, it's people like him, it's people like you that continue growing the sport. And I'm lucky enough to be able to sit here and ask you these questions and listen to you firsthand and get the knowledge from you before anybody else does. And so thank you so much for joining me today.
I truly appreciate you and giving me an opportunity to speak. This is my first podcast or first news, so I enjoyed it. If you don't mind, I really can I give a shout out?
Absolutely.
To my triple threat club. I do. It's a lot of softball, so I do teach. I do coach, and I do help in the recruiting process with the players. But my passion is slap hitters, and my passion is outfield. So I got my Audi club. And I got my triple threat club. In the triple threat club, I train slap hitting, but I teach them in regards to you have to have a short game. You have to read the defense and know what type of slap hit, power slap or chop. And then you have to be a lefty that can hit away too. So that's what a college coach is looking for. I teach them in regards to focus on being a leadoff batter, what it takes to be a leadoff batter. I think I got a clip out there that kind of drew some attention on what it takes to be a leadoff batter on Instagram or YouTube. I'm not YouTube, TikTok, but definitely wanted to put it out there. Love the last line of defense on my outfield training. We rob home runs. We take away base hits. So love to travel. So if you want to book me to come out and do some camps for slap hitters or just outfield. On the defensive side, I would love to keep traveling and do that. But shout out to all my lefty slap hitters. Love you.
Well, I will make sure that we have all of your information linked below, all your social media accounts, your website. That way that anybody's listening, they can follow you and they can get any information that they need, and they can also pass it along. Because for me, it's all about passing on that information, not just taking it for myself and holding on to it. So I'm going to make sure everybody has this stuff. So
awesome. Yeah. Once again, I truly thank you for the opportunity to talk game with you, softball. Definitely.
It was fun, Coach. I appreciate it. Don't be a stranger. You're going to have me blowing up your phone trying to pick your brain for different questions and stuff like that.
Oh, I would love to come back on anytime.